Down.
Campaign trail for our last candidate, and with Mitt Romney. Mitt was with us, and I've got to tell you what a fine gentleman he is. Yeah! I don't want to jinx it or anything, but my wife is already getting a dress for the inaugural ball. So please, because I got to spend the money anyway, please get the votes. Okay? I'm going to hand it over to Jon Voit.
Where are you going, Ratzenberger?
Shane. Oh, go ahead.
It's a tree.
I'm right here.
Anyway, it's great to see you all out here, and it's, you know, I have to tell you that when I saw Mitt Romney in Los Angeles, he came for a fundraiser. He said a couple of things that were key to me. I had gotten a group of fellas from our community together to be there for him, and he came and he was very, you know, they have this whole myth that Mitt is stiff, that doesn't. I mean, this whole thing, they invented a myth.
They sure did.
And invented this guy that is not Mitt Romney, and then of course when he showed up for the debate, that's when everything turned over because everybody. Yeah. But one of the things he said to the group, and he was very, you almost felt like he was telling you something across the dinner table or something. He was very personable, and he said to me, he says, "Let me tell you guys," he said, "we're going to win this thing." Yeah. 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 And he said, "Let me tell you something else." This is before the debates. He says, "I'm having fun." And he is having fun, and he's been. And I was on a tour with this group of Dennis Prager and Michael Medved and Hewitt, those great guys, and they are great guys. And we were going morning till night, you know, from one place to another, and doing these little forums over the past week or so, and we were exhausted after 2 days. You know what I mean? Exhausted. We got on a plane, and then okay, over there, here's your key. Wait in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, they get you. Well, you get the key first because you got to be up for your show tomorrow. I'll just wait and go to bed. And he said, "Mitt's been doing this for 16 months, and he looks better than any of us." I wanted to tell you a little something, just to share something with you. I was with Ann Romney. You know, I'm with great people. John Ratzenberger, our friend Clint Eastwood. Wasn't Clint amazing? It was so funny because Clinton and I were talking before the event, and we were trying to figure things out, and he hadn't come out really before that. And he was saying, he was listening. You know, Clint doesn't say very much. If you're having a conversation with Clint, you're doing all the talking. And I'm not, and honest to God, and John will tell you this, I don't talk too much. In between, you know, I can get, somebody gives me a microphone, I can share a few things, but I'm mostly a listener. I'm interested in ideas, and I'm interested in what other people's takes are on things, you know. Well, it seems like Clint's like me. So we sit at the table, we don't know what the hell to say to each other. but he's so original, you know, and I had given him some things that I had been impressed with, you know, things that I thought he might be able to use, or information for him and stuff like that. And I didn't know if he was going to show up at the, I had no idea. Then I'm down at the convention, and I hear there's going to be a secret speaker tomorrow. I said, really? Yeah, as a mystery guest. Really? Then in my heart, my heart's because, listen, we all know how important this is. Yeah. We all know. We are all, we're here, you guys are here because you know how important it is. we can't even enunciate how important it is. It's whether we pass on this country that we've been given to our children and grandchildren, or it dies. And I was on the tour, and I started. You know how you start singing songs every once in a while. You don't know why you're singing them, and I'm like that anyway. I started just humming this song Camelot, you know? And at the end of the story, Camelot, for those of you who've seen the movie or know anything about it, or seen the stage play, it's a heartbreaking story. It's a story of a magnificent time and a place where everything was just right. And President Kennedy equated Camelot to the United States. And at the end of that, you know, and each one of our great presidents, like Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan, they talked about the greatness of America and the specialness, the shining city on a hill, you know, the last great hope, the last best hope. These phrases about our country. And, you know, this country and every country has to contend with the fact that humans occupy it. So we'll always have a little difficulty, do you know what I mean? But the great ingredient of freedom that our country was given, this is an amazing thing, this experiment that we give the people, the government, which is what Clint alluded to, you know? And I was singing this, I was humming this thing. And I started doing a little acting, and I was in the back of a car with, who was it? It was Hewitt, or it was one of the other fellows on the tour who was backing the tour. He said, "What are you humming?" And I said, "I'm humming this thing from Camelot." And I said, he asked me to do it when I got onto the stage. So it wasn't really a song. I was saying, "Each evening from December to December, as you lie awake," and he's talking to a little boy with King at the end, "upon your cot, think back on all the tales that you remember of Camelot. Ask every person if he's heard the story, and tell it loud and clear if he has not, that once there was a fleeting wisp of glory called Camelot." And he goes into the song. And to me, it broke my heart that this great Camelot did not continue to this boy's generation. He left this little clue in the personage of a little messenger boy. Do you know? That once there was. And we're here because we don't want it ever to be said of this country, "once there was." It's up to us, and you're going to do a great job today, I know it. And I look at your faces and I say, perfect. If you guys knocked on my door, I'd welcome you in. You're the perfect guys to show up. And your work is very, very important. So God bless you for stepping up. You know, can I do one more piece of acting? This is very embarrassing because I have to do this in front of a great actor. You see? He looks like, look at the way he looks. He looks like if I'm going to do anything wrong, I'm in trouble. He's the what's that? FDR, right? I did a new movie recently, and I have to admit, it was a vampire picture. Because they offered me Van Helsing, the role of the vampire killer, right? The demon slayer. So I said, I can do this. I'll do it. I said, and then I was looking at it, I said, because this is about good and evil. And that's what we're faced with today. Good and evil. Unfortunately, we have enemies without and enemies within at this time, trying to bring this great country down.
Yeah.
And so I said, I can identify with it. Let me do Van Helsing. So I had lines like this. John will like this. You don't want to be alone when the undead return.
Pelosi masks put on all the actors who played the vampire.
You know, the funniest thing is they did have these masks. They had a lot of the undead. They had all of these crazy. It would be hysterical and absolutely appropriate if you put Nancy Pelosi and, you know, Harry Reid, Axelrod. What's that?
The Californians were surrounded by them.
You're absolutely right. I'm in there, and I go into it, but it's like a vampire picture. When I walk into the trailers, the makeup trailers, or the cafeterias in Hollywood, they'll go. But it doesn't work because they're not Christians. Should I give you one more little piece today? Yeah! Just this one thing. So I'm doing this movie, right? And I say things like, I have a demon slayer from the north somewhere, 6'7" guy, and I invite him to sit at my table, and I say to this guy, I say, what we are fighting here is no ordinary demon, but a vampire. Lord Dracula is as strong as 100 men, and as cunning as he is strong. If you drink from his blood, you become one of them. And then I go and describe how terrible it might be, and they say, then somebody says, well, I won't drink his blood. They say, well, unless you're bitten. And then you have three choices. Pray for a quick death. Drink from him and live forever. Or turn into one of the accursed Nosferatu. Then I describe it. Nosferatu is suffering beyond. Ah, this isn't it yet. Wait till I now. So then I ask the fellow, I tell him all the dangers. I say, so now that I've told you all the dangers, I said to him, now that all of that I have told you, my warrior friend, is this danger a price you are willing to pay? And he says, I fear it not. And I say, listen, young ones, pay attention. Throughout history, whenever barbaric poisons have taken root and evil seems poised to flood the earth, heroes have always risen up, willing even to sacrifice themselves, that future generations will have the opportunity to seek peace. These heroes are from God Himself. I am always humbled to be in their presence, and I have always striven to be one of them. And that's you.
Yep.
That's who you are.
That's you, John.
That's who we are. That's who those two guys in Benghazi are. We've got to win this for future generations of people we will never meet. We're fighting this battle, and I know that you're the ones to do it. So have a wonderful day. It's great to see you. I'm honored to be with you, really. And we'll come down, get some pictures taken and stuff, and have some fun. But have a great day. We have a few more days left. Let's take every opportunity to make this thing happen. God bless you.
Do you have any idea how much you'd have to pay on Broadway to see that performance? You can tell your grandchildren that you were here today. And you saw one of the greatest actors in the world. Giving a great, choosable performance.